All right, what's up, my beautiful people? Today we're going to take a look at a fashion shoot I did for a local designer here in Houston. She was starting out a few years ago, and this was one of her first swimwear design pieces. Actually, at this specific shoot, I think she had like 3 or 4 different pieces that we're going to be photographing. So let's see, we have it in black. We had a few pieces in white, which were a challenge. And I believe we had it in red. Yes, we did. Okay. So let's get over here to Photoshop and take a look at this image. So if we zoom in on it, the model did her own makeup. I wasn't a big fan of it. I try, my best to, make do with whatever we have, but the makeup wasn't very good. She had very dewy makeup on. I would say it was more akin to, product that you would find at your, big box store, things like that. But remember, as a photographer, this will happen to you. It'll happen with models, it'll happen with clients. So, keep that in mind, when you're talking to the model or you're talking to, potential client, learn enough about makeup that, you can be informed and then, give them the proper guidance so that they'll know exactly what they need to do, or more importantly, what they shouldn't do. Okay. So let's open this image. I am going to enhance it because this was shot, if I'm not mistaken, on a Nikon D700. So that, I think it was a 24 megapixel. I'm not sure. I can't remember. It's been so long. But regardless, let's see here. The original image was 10 megapixels, and the enhanced version of it through Photoshop is 41 megapixels at 300 DPI. So let's open that. All right. So let's take a better look at this. Zoom in pretty close. It wasn't super razor sharp, but for what they were going to be using the images for, it was sharp enough. The client was very happy. This is going to be stuff they're going to use for their catalog. Now, one of the first things that I would do, obviously, one of these images is that normally I would go in and I would look at my curves and see where everything is sitting, right? So I want to get a good white balance on this. That should be good. Yeah, I think that'll work just fine. Put that there. Okay. So once we zoom in, we can see some of the problems that we're going to have to fix. So there's some separation in the hair. You can see the dewiness in the makeup, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because sometimes, that effect might be something that you want to go with. If I zoom in really close here, you can see where the fake eyelashes start and where they end. But, again, like I said, those are things that you're going to have to contend with. And let's see, the shoes are good. The outfit's fine. Now, if you look in right here, where she's pressing in with her finger, and that's also from the strap from the swimsuit that's creating that look here. So the filter, or the panel that I want to demonstrate for you guys, is Infinity Color. But we have to do a couple of things first. So let's go in here. First thing we want to do is just go ahead and jump over to Liquify. And make a selection on the straight side of it, and then Command T, and then just drag it over, and Command D to release it. So that should have created a straight line there. So we'll come back over here and do the same thing. Command T, stretch it over, Enter, Command D. So that'll give us that straight line all the way across, so it just looks like, you know, one long piece of glass. All right, so far everything looks good. So like I said before, you know, we want to use the Infinity color panel. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stick with light. You know, you have light, medium, and intense, but for this type of shoot, we're going to stick with light, and we're going to just do the first run through. Now that's a very warm, very magenta. Now that's not bad. So I like that. So what we can do here is we can adjust the curves, the color balance, selective color, gradient map, or the lookup table. So the only thing that I would possibly want to adjust, if anything, would be the curves. But I don't have to randomize this anymore. I could actually go here to the curves and take a look at the curves themselves and see, okay, well, what is it I'd like to see? You know, if I want it to be just slightly darker there, and I want to push up the highlights a little bit, you know, I can just grab that and then adjust the highlights, because we want it to have that warm look, you know, summertime, but we don't want to go overboard with it. So now that's going to be a little on the warm side. Let's see what we're getting here. And then we could bring the opacity back down. We just want to warm up her skin without overdoing it. Yeah, so I'm thinking that looks pretty good. Let me bring that back up to maybe about 30. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay, so now that we have our look, the one thing that I'm not doing yet is airbrushing. So I could do the airbrushing really quick just to knock it out. We're just going to do the plastic skin. Give it a chance to run. Okay, so with that open and your layer selected, your brush needs to be white. So we're going to go in here. Let's see. You always want to start with a soft brush. I have my hardness to 0, and I'm going to bring the brush size down to maybe about 56, because I just want to be able to softly bring this in. Now, if you look at the filter, I'm sorry, the group, it's at 75%. I think that's a little high, so I'm going to go ahead and bring that down to, I would say, 50, just to be safe. And then you can always raise it or lower it. It just depends on what it is you want it to look like, right? So we're just going to go in here and just start brushing this in the areas I want to airbrush. Around the neck, the collar. But you want to try and maintain as much character and definition in the body, so that when you are airbrushing the skin, you're not removing, you know, key components. Like, you know, we can get here under the arm, you know, what we mentioned before, because I removed that area. And then we just follow along the length of the body. Now, you're not limited to your brush size. I mean, you can, you know, alternate your brush back and forth, you know, to whatever size works for you. You know, it's going to be easier for you to work with. I usually do that, you know, throughout the entire thing. I'll just go in and say, okay, well, this is going to work here. So let me just run this across here real quick. Larger brush. Hit the leg. Okay, get rid of any of the little pores on the leg. Yeah, there we go. We can start our way up the other. Get the foot. Now, if you have a Wacom tablet, that's pressure sensitive, this will work out really well for you. I do have an iPad Pro, and on occasion I will use Sidecar, and I'll connect the iPad to my computer, and then that way I can use the iPad as a tablet, like a Wacom tablet or something. We're using the Apple Pencil, but I'm not doing that today. I'm just using basically the built-in trackpad on the MacBook. So right there. One more, then we're going to get this hand. So you don't have to go really crazy with this. You just want to blur it out just enough or airbrush it just enough to soften the skin to make it look like. Now my goal is always to look like, my model had, if we had airbrush makeup in the studio and the makeup artist was also doing body makeup or something like that, that would be ideal for this, because then, they can spray makeup literally everywhere. And, once it's on, if you've worked with one of these type of makeup artists in the past, you know that it doesn't, get on everything. You don't have to worry about that because it's very dry. And it's a lot like what they use in motion pictures. And we have one of the kits for in studio. Now, around the knees, you want to show a little bit of extra attention. And elbows, if they're visible, because that's where you're going to have like really hard creases in the skin and stuff like that, right? So let's just take a look at this one really quick. So we zoom out. That looks good to me. And we can zoom in here just a little bit. Come in. The body looks good. Hair, makeup, it's on point for what it is. The floor's clean, no imperfections there. So this is a win. Now, one thing that I am a little concerned about is the coloration of the skin, but I think that saturation, let me take a look here real quick. Let's go to our hue and saturation. And let's just bring the saturation down just a touch. And let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I like that better. Much more. Yeah, that works. Okay, so that's a win. All right, guys. So again, this panel is Infinity Color. And if you haven't tried it yet, I suggest that you give it a try. They also have a number of other panels on their website for sale. So let's go over to their site really quick here. So they have a ton of tools on their site that you may want to take a look at. They have one panel for black and white. There's another one here for skin. This one here, I believe, is mostly for LUTs. This is mostly LUTs, for different types of looks. So just go over and take a look at what they have there. I mean, you'd be amazed at what you can use these programs for, these panels for, to speed up your workflow. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different panels. And then they also provide you with an extension organizer, so that's pretty cool. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's free. So yeah, you can get that for free, and that will help organize all of your different panels so that your different extensions, so that you'll have them all in one place. So that's a win. All right, guys, so I'm going to bring this video to an end. Hopefully you guys have learned something, and I've helped you in some way to make a decision if this is something that you want to give a shot. I think it's going to be worth it, especially if you're doing a lot of creative things, if you're working with, I could even see applications where you could use this for artistic or even product photography, just, to be creative, from the creative aspect of it. Not so much if it's something that has to be 100% color accurate, and that you will experience a lot in fashion, where a color has to be exactly that color or it's close to it. It's photo representation. But when the clients are allowing you to be creative, I think a tool like this is powerful, where you can go in and just play around and just say, okay, well, I like this and I like that. And you can come up with different variations, that you can then submit to your client and say, hey, what do you think about this one? Let's try this. And you can give them 4 or 5 different versions of the same image just to see which one they like. And with most of these new modern computers, they're so fast when you're not running a gazillion things in the background like I am, and you're able to, at that point, just really just run through these really quick. Now, I like that one a lot better because all I did there was I just shuffled the color balance, and I like that much better than even what I did. So, hey, that's a win. All right, guys, so I'm going to bring this video to an end. It's been Rome Wilkerson. I will catch you guys in the next video. Don't forget to leave any comments down in the comments section or any questions down there, and I will do my best to answer those as soon as possible. Join the Facebook group if nothing else. That way you can meet other photographers that are using these panels, and you can see how they're using it in their day-to-day workflows, and I think it'll be something great for you. All right, guys, until next time, stay safe, wash your hands. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. I'm out.